I had fun talking to you. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, it's going well.
Good. I'm Quentin.
Quentin?
Quentin.
Oh, Quentin.
Yeah.
I'm Sammy. Nice to meet you too. So, do you have any questions before we just play video games?
So, I'm Fox main. Not so much questions. It's just like three things I really want to work on are fast falling, like I guess Nair specifically, because I know.
Nair Fox.
Yeah. Because I have a big problem with getting shield grab. Like I have an idea of how to do safe aerials, but it's more doing them like early enough that I feel like I'm always doing them too late.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Like undershot aerials, because I feel like I know how to do them defensively, but I want to get better at doing them to like bait people out.
Okay. Sure.
And then like, platform pack chase follow-ups too.
Specific matchup or just?
Fast fallers more specifically.
Okay. Fox Falcon.
Yeah, because I just generally when I play, I think about trying to like always get the next hit, and sometimes I need to like remind myself to just wait for them to like, have.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. So let's talk about this. So when you do an aerial, come closer. So if you shield this, so if I do the aerial on the way up like that, stop shielding, you know you can shield grab that?
Yeah.
Okay, but one of the things is usually you're coming from a distance. So as long as you don't do the aerial, like literally like rising like that or whatever, if you delay it even a little bit, then by the time you reach their shield, you're generally falling. So I think actually, the only thing is you have to make sure you're hitting your fastballs.
I think that's probably what it is.
So there's two ways to fastball. You can fastball before your Nair hits their shield. And you can fastball after the Nair hits their shield.
Yeah, which is what I know how to do.
Okay.
That feels like it's really great.
No, but that's still fine as long as you make sure you're timing it pretty well. So for example, a shield. So that Nair looked pretty early, right?
Yeah.
That was not shield grab. So try doing it to me. Just do a Nair at me. Okay, so there you missed your fastball. So
you do it earlier?
Probably you're doing it too early. So are you familiar with the concept of hit lag?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's when the game completely freezes, right? So when your Nair connects, there's some number of frames where the game is frozen. Fastballing actually, when you fastball, do you hold down or just tap it? Tap it? So that's another thing. Fastballing actually has a buffer. I don't know if you do that. So once you reach the peak of your short hop, that's when you can fastball, right? So like, look, like right there. But if I hold down now, see, I'll get the fastball. So you actually have a I forget if it's 3 or 4 frames, but so maybe that would help you. So when you Nair at me, try holding down. You did the Nair very late. You can do it pretty early. Do it early. Yeah, that one was perfect. Yeah, that was perfect. Nice.
Okay,
yeah,
cool. That
so
actually makes sense.
That is all it is.
Okay.
It's not that you have to do the aerial super late.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
Okay, cool.
That makes a lot more sense.
Does that solve?
That sounds like one problem,
Okay,
I think.
so
I just have to work
buffer
on it.
your fastball, and just be aware that as long as... Here, go ahead.
I'm just going to write it. No, you can keep talking. I'm just gonna
No, I want you to focus. Well, that's shaky, but still good. Have you asked people about that before? Like, has no one told you that?
It wasn't like the buffer never came up.
Okay,
It was
so
more
that's
just
all
like
it is.
changing the timing.
Okay, buffering it helps. The fact that you're flicking it downwards is that makes it so that you literally have to be good at the timing, you have to fastball the 1 frame after hit lag. Otherwise, you'd be doing it too slow.
Exactly.
So it's not like everyone's just like gone and doing frame perfect timing.
Okay, no, that makes so much more sense.
Okay, cool. So I'm glad we talked about that.
Because I have that problem with full hop aerials too.
Yeah. So
but if I just
with
hold
full hop
down,
aerials, you can buffer it before you. So like you can do it before you even touch their shield. So like
yeah.
So like look, I'm fastballing way up here, right? Or I can even fastball and then come down with the back air. Like you see that? Okay. 1 second, actually. I really need to.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'll make sure you still have your full timer.
Okay.
Okay.
I can just
but think about another thing with your aerials is with Nair, as long as you hit their shield while you're falling, it is not shield grounded. Even if you're high up, like even if you full hop Nair, if you're falling once the Nair hits their shield and you hit your fastball, you will not be shield grounded. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. That literally.
Are you able to fastball now?
Yeah, I'm
okay,
just
so
like everything like back air, like because I was having trouble doing like back airs out of shine, fastball.
Oh yeah, good shit. Okay, so the other thing is, like I said, you can also fastball before the aerial hits their shield.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So like yeah, on these, so like yeah, so try to shine afterwards. Do that into shine. On the front of my shield though, so we can actually. Yeah, so I couldn't shield grab that. Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
That makes so much sense.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
the second thing you wanted to talk about was undershot aerials. So is there something specific about them?
So I guess in like matchups, especially like Fox Ditto, Marth, I feel like neutral I have, it feels very like I don't know, I'm just like grasping constantly, if that makes sense. Like I'm almost panicking. And it's like, I know how to overshoot so that I'm like hitting them when they're dashing back, but I feel like if we're just dash dancing in the zone, I have no way to make them come to me.
Okay, so let's talk about the concept of threat ranges and threats. So if you're just sitting there, just stand there for a second. So it doesn't matter if you're dash dancing or not or standing still. Just do something to stop me from hitting you. So I'm just gonna run at you and try to hit you, okay? So ready? You can do anything. You can move out of the way, you can shield, like, I'm not telling you to do something specific. Yeah, sure, you moved out of the way, right? But what I want to get at is that, so just move out of the way again, that's easy. Yeah, so you see me at this distance, and you see me dash forward right here, right? And this is when you're like, okay, so you recognize the threat of up smash, for example, right? So what did you do? You dashed backwards. So now do that again. So something simple, like a wave dash in place. Or, let's say you think I'm going to nair at you, try to dash dance grab me. Ready? That's okay, take your time. You ready? So just do a dash dance, it's much easier than pivoting. So just go like here, nair at me. You see I just run out of the way. Although you didn't short hop, but you get the idea. Okay, ready? Yeah, see, it's really easy like that. So you got that one. But the thing is, now try that again. Ready? See? You're suddenly like, oh, he moved towards me. Or here, try it again. Oh, sorry, I messed up. Okay.
That,
See,
I get baited by that.
So now the idea is, because you want to get better at it from an aggressive standpoint, right? So the important part to understand as the aggressor is that you see how you responded as the defender to the potential threat of me up smashing you or nairing you or running shouting you, or I have all these different threats as Fox. So what your job as the attacker is to think about different ways your opponent will account for your threats and the ranges that they have to account for them at. So like, when I'm this far away, go back, I can't hit you from here. So you don't have to account for anything yet. But as you get closer and closer, the opponent can't just keep dash dancing or they'll get hit. So what you do is you take that into account. And they can't always react to everything perfectly. Like go over there, wait till you see the nair to try to grab me, okay? So I'm gonna go like that. Try to dash dance grab it. So you got shine. Do it again. Stand still. Okay, you got that one. So now again, wait till you see the nair, not just the jump. Okay, so do that one more time. You didn't see the nair, see? You thought you did, but you didn't. Yeah, I was just jumping at you. Something very simple. So you see how the threat of the nair was enough to make you dash back? Mm-hmm. But then I can start working with that. I can start baiting you. I can start getting reactions out of you. So you see, you didn't actually react to the nair any of those times. You reacted to the short hop time, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Knowing when the nair would come out.
So if you want to become a better attacker, you need to understand what is my opponent reacting to. They're not reacting to you nairing. That's not feasible, right? So try to actually react to the nair, like once you see him do that. Okay, ready? Like you can move backwards preemptively, but don't grab until you see the nair. Does that make sense? See, you're slow. Why are you slow? Because you're waiting to see the nair. So how do you be fast enough? You have to assume I'm gonna aerial. What if I don't aerial? Or what if, so try it again. This time just try to grab my short hop. Ready? Or like you can dash dance grab. See, it's like you don't know how far I'm gonna go, right? So like all of these factors are at play for being a better attacker. So you specifically asked about undershot aerials. The idea is just you want to make your drift ambiguous as the attacker, and then you're able to move out of the way. You could even, instead of dashing backwards, like let's say you play someone who doesn't get baited by this every time, you could even go like this. You could go like undershot nair and then run at them, Or you could undershot nair and then just jump in, jump in place, for example. So you can run up to them and then shoot full hop or something. You have lots of mix-ups you can go for. But as the attacker, that's the idea.
Yeah.
I think in general, though, you shouldn't be really thinking about undershot aerials specifically just as a way to bait them. You should also be thinking of it as a way to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a layered thing. It's like you can throw it out at a timing that stops someone from running at you, and then you still have options to go for it, right? I think that's also...
That's kind of what I use it right now. Like I'll use dash back, turn around.
But you can also dash forward in undershot and air, and that's still a way of defending yourself. Defending doesn't mean moving away necessarily.
Okay, yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, what if you want to nair me for running at you? You can run forward and do it in place, right? Or drill, right?
Yeah.
It's not just a defensive option. Or see, it is a defensive option, but that doesn't just mean you're moving away from it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you can defend while moving forward.
I feel like there'll be I feel like against Marth specifically, that's a situation where if I'm like here, we're both around here, and I think they're gonna come forward, I'll like move and they just dash down and bait it. Like, that's
okay. But what if you didn't throw out the move? What if you empty short hop and then dash here? Again, try to grab my landing. Dash dance grab it. Ready? There was no near lag, right? I just fastball. So try it again. You see? It's hard, right?
Yeah.
Now try to do it so you actually grab that option. Okay, ready? Try it again. Still dash dance though. Ready? Okay, you got it that time, right? You see how early you have to commit to that? So if Marth is just grabbing you out of things, a lot of the times it means he's committing really, really early. Now, one of his advantages is that he has so much range that he can afford to commit earlier, because if you move out of the way, maybe you'll be too far to punish him for committing. But you can still use that to your advantage. Like, let's say he whiffs a grab right when you wave dash back, you might not be able to punish it, but now he's in his grab lag. So even if you don't punish it, you're very close to being able to punish it, right? So maybe he has less things he can do now. So like let's say you're at neutral here. That's very different than if you like whiff a grab right now. You have to like shield or do something or dash, like you get what I mean?
Yeah,
so you can use that small amount of frame advantage you gain from them whiffing things to like take advantage of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so thinking about their options after they...
Yeah, and the fact that their options are limited risk-reward-wise because they have to do something to not get immediately hit. So even if you don't have a true punish, they have to do something to not get punished, right? Yeah. And even sometimes if they do up tilt, what if they don't have time? What if you can running shine them before they get up tilt, so they have to shield, for example? That gives you a lot of leverage, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no.
And this is a silly example, but I gave this example to someone. What if we were a full stage at the beginning, and I just taunted? Even if you couldn't run across the stage and hit me, wouldn't you still be at advantage because I taunted? Because, well, I know that's silly, but think about how long a taunt is.
Yeah.
Right? So like you get stage control,
all the way
and then I have to do something to not just get up smashed, right? So let's say we're full stage, maybe I can barely get my shield up before you up smash me. That's such a strong situation for you, because if you're willing to up smash, I only have one option to beat it. So now that I only have one way to beat it, you can leverage that. And now, whipping a grab's not that different than taunting, in terms of conceptually. It's just with like a taunt, it's more obvious because it's so laggy.
Yeah.
Say what? Oh, yeah. And then platform forms. Okay. This one should be pretty easy, too. Okay, so anyway, platform wolves, right? So let's say I up throw you right now.
Yep.
I'm not going to give you the full talk about everything you could possibly ever do, just because there's not that much time. Here's the very, very basic breakdown. If I up throw you right now and you tech in place, I cannot react to that with full jump on. I cannot. But what you can do is you can just guess that they're going to tech in place and then up air them. So now, how can you avoid that? You can tech roll instead, right? But now the tech rolls are reactable. Right? So if I wait instead of guessing tech in place, I can now react to the tech rolls. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that is the very most basic breakdown of what happens at low percent, okay? So now let's say you're at slightly higher percent. Like let's say you're at like 43. So now when you up throw, I actually have time to set something up. So now I'm sure you've seen people do the falling up air thing, which is probably what you're trying to ask about.
Yeah,
to some
a little
extent.
bit.
So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first thing I wanted to talk about was just that, the 50-50 kind of. You either guess tech in place or react to tech roll. The next thing is that when you up throw someone, if you have enough time, and I think it's underrated how difficult this is, you can do like a falling up air like this. And the only way it works is if you up air so that you hit the very first vulnerable frame of their tech in place, and you literally have to land on the very next frame. You have to be frame perfect on this. That's how it's actually difficult. But if you do that, you can punish all the options after. So for example, I'm gonna up throw you. Don't DI and then tech roll to the left. Okay? So I can do that. Now tech in place this time. See? So you can cover both. But the thing is, if you're at up throw me, you see how there's no way you could have done a falling up air, right? There was no time. Because I'm at such low percent, right? So the thing with this is it's very percent dependent and DI dependent. So let's say at 24, trying to do a falling up air when I land. So you barely got that in time, right? Do you see how you didn't have enough time to get like the perfect timing?
You could have spotted that.
Well, no, I was actually holding shield, but I think the thing is, you didn't land on the first frame possible. After.
Okay.
So then you couldn't have covered the time. So that's the whole thing, that you need to get it like right at the last, like it needs to hit at the last second, you know? But the thing is, that's dependent on you being able to get up there fast enough. So the two basic ideas for follow-ups are the 50-50 and then this follow-up. Does that make sense? Other things you can consider are how to drift on reaction. So for example, I'm going to up throw you. Tech in place. So do you see how right now I could have back aired on reaction to that?
Yeah.
So now tech roll to the right instead. I'm going to do the exact same jump and then see how I react to the... And then, so you can kind of drift on reaction sometimes.
Okay.
Because bear is like a 5-frame move, or nair is a 4-frame move. So that's plenty fast enough to react. So you can adjust your drift slightly. Or you can jump, dash, for example, and dash and jump. And while you're jumping, if they tech in place, you bear them off.
Okay.
But then if they don't tech in place, you can go like, you can like drift this way. Do you get what I mean? To like cover different things. That's also a factor. But I would say the most basic thing is the two things I told you already. Also, sometimes you have time to just wave land on. So for example, let's say, let me give you some percent. So tech in place here. So I think that was fast enough, I'm not sure. So maybe at this percent, I can cover everything. But have you ever noticed that if someone DIs the throw, they don't go as high as if they didn't DI it, right? So let's say you're at this percent, but you're all the way over here. DI to the platform behind me, and then tech in place. But do you see how I wouldn't have had time really? Try it again. Like, you could have maybe spot, I could have maybe up tilted, but I'm not sure, but you get the idea. So when they DI to the platform, sometimes you have to dash, and that makes it slower. So maybe sometimes what I'll do is, especially if you're at low percents, something you could do is, so DI to the platform, and then miss tech or tech in place. So see how hard that was? Like, I didn't even hit it, right? So that's something to take, get down. So you can sometimes just jump backwards. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then also what you can do is tech roll this time. You can wave dash instead, and then that sets you up for the... because sometimes it's kind of hard to dash this way and then dash and then sometimes you'll fly off the stage, or, you know. So sometimes wave dashing makes it easier.
And so if you, like, let's say you throw from here and then you wave dash back to, like, here, does that give you enough time to...
react to tech rolls.
Either one? Okay. Because that's my big... It's like around, I think, 30 to 60%, where it's like a bear won't necessarily fully send them off stage.
Yeah.
But you need to combo.
So wave landing can be good.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, what else do you want to do?
I don't.
That's all the questions you have. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say if you wanted to play for a little.
Sure.
Do you
care who I play?
Nope.
Okay, I'm playing Falcon.
Falcon Fox and like Massive.
Yeah, my head's
I think there's some hand warmers in like the shop.
Oh, really? That's hype. Okay, so let's just play for a bit?
Yeah.
If you have any questions while we're playing, stop me. Otherwise, I'm just going to play for a bit, and then if I have anything to do, I'll tell you. But did I answer everything you wanted?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
The fast fall, because I know that's something you've talked about.
That sounded big for you.
That was like...
You're really relying on jumping versus Falco. I think maybe some things you can consider are dashing in between your lasers, or when you shield the laser, you can just wave dash out of shield sometimes. Also, I think power shielding some lasers would help a lot.
Yeah, that's something. It's like if I'm working on it like once or twice a week, I'm like doing it well, but I have to be like doing actively practicing it.
I totally understand that. Okay, ready? Oh, I got like darker.
Yeah, they turn off some lights.
It's much harder to see. So you could have reacted to that, right? Something simple. I'm gonna ask them if they can turn the lights back on. I'm having much more trouble seeing. What time did they say? He said 2:40 probably, right? Yeah, we're like 10 minutes behind.
When you had you went to the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, it's probably 2 more maybe? Is that cool with you? Crazy.
I've been talking, like, Ginger's telling me I need to up smash Falco's laser, like, dagger. Thank you, I appreciate it so much.
If you have any questions about something, message me.
Yeah, definitely. I messaged you on Twitter. I don't know if that was the guy.
Maybe. I mean, did I respond?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
You
okay,
said, like,
cool.
just bring some questions.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Okay, well, I'm glad.
Yeah, no, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Hope to see you around.
Yeah, hope I helped.
Yeah, this is